birthday girl.
Oh yeah. Take it. Take it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Lawrence's Creative. Nice to see you here once again. Trust your day was good. In today's tutorial, I will be showing you how I did my kid sister's birthday look. She's celebrating her birthday, so I'll be making her up today. Happy birthday, sweetheart. So I did her eyebrows off camera. I have a detailed tutorial on how I do my eyebrows. Please, I'll drop the link on the description box so you can go and check it out so that you know how I do my brows. So with her eyeshadow, I first of all set her eyes using my Fair Gold setting powder. Then I went in my Morphe there to create eyeshadow palette to do her eyebrows. I first of all picked the light orange color there for my transition color. Then the second color I picked was a little bit darker to use and intensify the first color that I did on her crease. Using a fluffy brush, I blended it out. Then went back into the palette again, in and out, just intensify the color, and while doing so, I'll blend it out with a fluffy brush. Then I went again with two other colors from my Blossom eyeshadow palette. I used the two colors to pack at her outer V, then coming forward to her eyelid, then using a fluffy brush to blend it out. Then I went back into my Blossom eyeshadow palette and picked the dark color there and still intensify the color I used before. Then using the lightest color on my Ferrari concealer palette, I use it as the eyeshadow primer. Then went back into my Blossom eyeshadow palette to pick that color right there to pack on her eyelid. Then I went back into my Morphe eyeshadow palette and picked the peach color right there to deepen the color I used before. I didn't like the first color, so I wanted to make it a little bit darker, so that's why I went into the peachy color to blend it out. Then I went back into the two colors I used before to intensify the color on her eyelids, then blend it out. Then I went ahead to draw her eyeliner using my Kiss Beauty gel liner. So I did her eyelashes off camera. I went ahead in priming her face using my Too Faced primer. Then I will hide her hyperpigmentation with the orange color of my concealer palette. Then go ahead in applying her foundation using the Fair Gold foundation, HD foundation. I'm just tapping in the foundation into her skin using my foundation brush. Then later I will use a fluffy brush to buff out the excess foundation just to blend it out very well. Then I went ahead to use my concealer, the Naked Concealer by Kiss Beauty, to highlight her face, her T-zones, highlight under her eyes, her cheekbones, and her chin, forehead, and the nose. Then I went ahead in blending out the concealer using the same brush I used for her foundation. This brush, I literally use this brush for almost all my blending because it's very nice and it blends out very fast and quick, and it doesn't leave any residue behind. So I love this brush so much, so I use it in blending out her concealer. Still going back to my Ferrarusi concealer palette, I used the darker shade there to contour her face, contour her cheekbones and her nose. Then I'll blend it out using that same brush. To blend out her cheekbones, I used a fluffy contour brush to blend it out. This brush is easier for me to use while blending her cheekbones. Then using a smaller brush, or you can use a nose contour brush, I use it in blending out her nose contour. Make sure that I blended it out so that there will not be any harsh line. After that, I still use my fluffy brush I used earlier on in blending her face to use to buff out any excess harsh line. I must have blended this before. Then I proceeded in setting her face. I set the places I highlighted using the concealer. I first of all blended out her face with the blending brush. Then I will use the same blending brush to pack the powder on the places I highlighted before, just to set it. Then using my Mini Star contour palette, I'll use it to set the places I contoured earlier on. I'll use the same contour brush I used in blending out her contour before. Then I went into my Helen USA powder palette with a fluffy brush. I used it to dust out the excess setting powder on her face. I really wanted her nose to be very pointed, so I went back in to highlight and contour her nose second time. Then using the same powder, I used my powder brush to brush out and to set her whole face. To finish her eye look, I used a pigmented eyeshadow to apply on her tear dots just to make it pop. Then I went ahead to line her under eyes with the Kiss Beauty gel liner I used before in lining her lids. After lining her lids, I used a small brush to blend out any harsh line. Pardon me guys, I highlighted her face with the Flawless Eevee highlighting palette off camera. So I went ahead in lining her lips using the Huda Beauty lip liner. Then went ahead in applying the lipstick from Classic Lipstick.